Someone on the internet said that the water pump and alternator belt on my Renault 16 needed adjustment, and I was like, yeah, you know what, you're right. So, armed with the trusty Haynes manual, let's do that, because this isn't an ordinary adjuster where you just tighten it up, loosen it off, pull the alternator out and nip it back together. According to the Haynes manual, 2 drive belts are used. The primary one drives the water pump front pulley and the camshaft pulley, and the alternator is driven by a second belt running between the water pump rear pulley and the alternator driving belt. The belts can be adjusted independently, but the rear one can only be removed after withdrawal of the front belt. To adjust the camshaft to water pump belt, remove the 4 nuts and bolts which secure the 2 halves of the camshaft pulley together. Shims are located between the 2 halves. And by adjusting the number of shims, the tension of the belt will be varied once the 2 halves of the pulley are bolted up, as the operation effectively widens or narrows the pulley gap. Place the unused shims on the outside of the pulley and retain them for future use by means of the pulley nuts and bolts. So let's do exactly that. The Haynes manual makes it look easy. So this is what we're looking at here. Alternator, water pump, and then this one here obviously drives the camshaft pulley. You can see on the outside the shims. No, you can't, because I'm pointing the camera at something else. You can see on the outside the shims here that have to come off. Oh, oh. Wow, they're tight. So now that we've got the bolts off, you can see this shim arrangement. So we have all of these shims. Okay. And now it should simply be a case of sliding that off, which reveals more shims in the middle. So I've got 3 shims in the middle at the moment, and then the belt comes off. That actually just went in the bin. I'm not even joking. I've got a new belt here. Well, a new old belt. But before we do that, we're also going to take the alternator belt off. The alternator belt should be easy. It should just be this nut and bolt, slide the alternator forwards and pull the whole lot off. Sometimes you can just, pull these up like that, which is what we're going to do. So now we're just going to check the old and the new belt, which are the same size, which means that this one can also go. Refitting the alternator belt shouldn't be difficult at all. Just feed the belt through the holes, stretch it over. Just give that a bit of a turn until it pops. There we go, so that's now on. There is instructions in the owner's manual about how much deflection there should be on the belt, but to be completely honest, I think just about anyone knows when one of these belts feels right. That feels nice. Got about half a twist on it. That's generally what I aim for. I grab the belt and I try and twist it, and if I can twist it about halfway and then it starts to get tight, that's good. Now, I just want to clean the face of this up a little bit, so I'm just going to get a little bit of emery cloth and just wipe the face of the cam pulley down. So, a little bit of mildly annoying news. I don't have the right belt for this one. There was a spare belt in the boot of the car and it's not right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the shims to adjust the tension on this one. So we're going down to one shim now. So that's one. And that is how to check, change or adjust the alternator and water pump belt on a Renault 16.